Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is John. It's actually been a while since I've done a video. For that I do apologize. Either been sick or busy with jump or kids. So once again, I do apologize for taking a while to make a video. Checking on my YouTube channel as of, I believe, Friday last week. So just right before the weekend, my Ryzen build video, which is this system right here that you see all done in white on the inside, beautifully done inside the Phantom 820 case by NZXT. For only having 41 subscribers, my Ryzen build video has actually done very well. This video has actually topped over 10,000 views. Which for me is actually a big accomplishment because, once again, you know, only 41 subscribers. My second most viewed video hasn't even hit 1,000, and to have this one for this build exceed 10,000, I mean, it just absolutely positively just blows my mind. And very, very, very excited to have seen that video become so successful, and the view counter still continues to grow on it. But you know, one thing I wasn't able to do in the video, which is the reason I'm making this video, is because there are a bunch of features on here. Then a few things I did change around too, that I didn't have in the build video. For instance, the demonstration of the RGB capabilities of the NZXT Kraken X62 all-in-one liquid cooler, the LED RGBs on the I/O shield, as well as the chipset heatsink on the Asus Crosshair 6 Hero motherboard, the RGB capabilities of both of my Asus ROG Strix GTX 1070 overclocked cards, with their beautifully crafted backplates. Beautiful cards. As well as my NZXT Hue Plus integrated light system that I actually went ahead and put inside the NZXT. Once again, this is the NZXT the NZXT Phantom 820 case. I'm going to go ahead and open up the side panel. One thing I did change around as opposed to the original build video. 1200 watts was just a little bit overkill for the Ryzen 7 1800X CPU, plus both of these cards being GTX 1070s, you know, obviously only takes, get a better view here, each one only takes a single 8-pin PCI Express connector. The reason I even had the 1200 watt Corsair HX 1200i to begin with was because of my AMD FX 9590 system, and it was paired with originally paired with two R9 390Xs. So you know, you can only imagine. So once again, these are both the Asus Strix overclocked GTX 1070s. Overclocked straight out of the box. Asus was kind enough on the Crosshair 6 Hero motherboard to supply a high bandwidth SLI bridge. Saved me some money. Oh, and one very common comment I get on my build video, as long as I don't stick my hand in the fan. This is the NZXT USB 2.0 hub. For anybody that is interested in the Crosshair 6 Hero motherboard, you only get one USB 2.0 header on the motherboard. It's kind of hidden because that's where your Republic of Gamers extension header is supposed to be for your front panel. If you opt in to get that, so it's kind of hidden there. Everything else is, you know, your USB 3.0 water pump, case fan, and all that other jazz. So that's what that's for. So, you know, once again, that's the reason why I have this, because you get, you have your uplink, which goes to the motherboard, straight from here. Then you have 3 USB 2.0 headers, plus 2 USB 2.0 actual Type A, I believe Type A. But at any rate, it's actual ports. I believe that one I have going to my Kraken because it's got a micro USB port on it. It actually might be mini USB. Then I believe the other one I've got my U Plus system hooked up to. And then the rest of it is just other integrated stuff on the case. My front USB header, front memory card, or front SD card reader, which comes in handy, especially considering I do a lot of photography, or at least I'm trying to, and that happens to be the style format of card that my DSLR takes. And I can't remember exactly what that one's for. But anyway, moving along. Mind the reflection of my camera. You know, the NZXT Kraken X62 and all of its glory. When you're dealing with the NZXT Kraken series, your series N and 2 are going to be this style cooler, all-in-one water pump block that has the RGB, you know, infinite mirror design, depending on how you look at it. For some odd reason, white doesn't seem to give the endless mirror effect unless you get really, really down on it, but it's still a beautiful thing. But the series that ended 2 have that style. The series that ended in 1, like say X61, which is one I had with the FX system I had, it was a much smaller water block, as well as not near as nice. I mean, it still did its job, but I just like this one a lot better. Just the aesthetics on it are just a lot more pleasing. Other than that, the only other thing I think I did was I replaced the internal 140mm fans with fractal design. Those are, see if I can find the model number. Well, anyway, there's just 1,000 RPM fans. So, you know, once again, talking about the power supply, I switched it out. I ended up going with the EVGA SuperNova G3 1000 watt gold certified. This actually made it a lot nicer. Reason being, instead of having all flat cables going through the case, as we can see here, they're sleeved. I wish that they were individually sleeved, but you know, that made it much easier for airflow to come through the case, as well as cable management. Because those thick flat black cables that were on the Corsair PSU that I had were just a pain, and they were very rigid. Need a little bit of a rat nest of some cables in there. I'm actually going to try to go through here and do some cable management a little later on, but I make no promises to that. It just depends on time. And see if we can get in here. Lots and lots and lots of LEDs. There are 60 LEDs inside of this case total that are on the NZXT Hue Plus system right now, because they came with the 4 strips. Each strip has 10 each, but I did go ahead and get the extension kit, which I can still add 2 more strips, but I've just needed 6 total. So 6 strips, that's 60 LEDs total. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and do some demonstrations here with the RGB lighting. So for the camera shake, I do apologize, and I'm trying to get this as good a quality as I can. That's the reason I've opted to actually record in 4K. So hopefully YouTube doesn't butcher it beyond recognition. Because I would really hate that. Alright, so we are going to switch my ROG over onto the color cycle. And you guys will find out here in a second the reason why I did that. Beautiful little undertone glow. Heatsink, and that was just one setting. That's one of the reasons I love the Aura setting, or the Asus Aura software. I mean, it's just fantastic. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and change the settings here on the cooler. Go ahead and change that ring light over to color cycle. It gets a little bit choppy during its transitions, but for what it is, it's still not bad. You speed it up, it's a little bit smoother. And I kind of like the NZXT logo to be a little bit slower. Usually that's the reason why I do fading on it. And then for the big grand view, I mean, the color on those NZXT Hue Plus lights is just absolutely, positively amazing. You know, and the best part about this setup, if I wanted to, I could individually control the I/O LED, the heatsink LED, each GPU LED as far as the graphics cards, the ring light, the NZXT logo, and every single LED on any channel on the U Plus. Yeah, cam software controls everything that's NZXT, and the Aura software, everything that's on the motherboard and both graphics cards. So just real simple stuff to use. But definitely, for those that have been curious to see how everything looked, you know, that's it in all of its glory. And real quick, I'm going to go ahead and put that side panel back on, so then that way you guys get a see of what everything looks like with the panel back on, the view that I get of it every day. It definitely dims things up a little bit, but you know, I had a lot of regrets at first when I ended up going with the white NZXT Phantom 820 instead of either getting the matte black or the gunmetal gray. But this case is actually just really grown on me. Oh, and I forgot the way I got it set up. You kind of get the effects up front too. You know, beautiful effects. subtle underglow, accents in the front. Just beautiful color throughout the entire case, the way that's done. I ended up taking out the side fan that was on there. It was an exhaust fan anyway. So I just decided just to go ahead and take that out and kind of free up space to be able to view inside the case, as well as I think having some of that extra airflow over the graphics card, because it's going to be pulling in cool air from here, because every fan in there, with the exception of my front 200mm as well as the bottom 140mm, every fan that's in this case is set to exhaust. So I've got the 140mm exhaust and two 140s up there on the radiator. So those three are exhausting, and there's only two in doing intake. So should the graphics cards need extra airflow over them, or if my radiator fans are at high speed and not pulling enough air in through either the bottom or the front, then it's got ample cool air that's going to be able to go in and exhaust it out the top. And even to a certain extent, the top also kind of has a nice little touch with it too. Reason you may ask me why I decided not to go with the integrated LED controls on there, they just weren't up to par, except for the rear I/O light. I don't use those very often, but let me tell you, it comes in handy when trying to plug in cables in the dark. Yeah, I can even see a little bit more of what's going on in there. Now, for a real special treat, something I don't think I shared too well, this is the Corsair Straffe RGB mechanical keyboard, red MX cherry switches. The MM80 Corsair Polaris mousepad. This is comparable to the Razer Firefly, almost identical, dimensions, everything. And then this is the Corsair M65 Pro RGB laser mouse. So we're going to go over to our Corsair system. Oh, and I do also have a pair of the Void RGB headphones. I just don't have the wireless ones. I wish I did, but I don't. Okay, then we got our rainbow effects set for our mouse. And yes, the idea for me getting all this stuff was to everything reverted on here. Pretty much my whole idea behind this build was for the sole purpose of RGB. I mean, you stop and think about it, everything is RGB. And I tell you, if you guys want a good mount or a good keyboard, I've been using this for the last 9 months. Very good keyboard. And these are MX cherry switches. Not bad at all. Didn't realize I was actually changing the direction on stuff there, but I mean, just everything. Very beautiful build. You know, I was definitely very, very fortunate I was able to get everything when I did. You know, I've been very happy with everything. It's been a real spectacular build. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the video as much as I get to enjoy this computer any day. And for those of you who have viewed other videos of mine, if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to drop a question down in the comment. You know, I'll also try to reply to your questions as quickly as possible. Which I'm usually pretty good because I'll get notifications straight to my phone. So like the video if you liked it, hit the dislike, subscribe if you want to subscribe to the channel, so that we also keep updated on future videos. Thank you guys for watching this one, and hope to check you guys, or hope to see you guys in the next one.